Yeah, I'm slightly doing the Dutch tilt here. Oh, again. Oh god, okay. I think I'm mostly in the correct position. So yeah, I did not expect this to show up during the night. I was actually just in the middle of watching TV with my mom. But West Side Story is finally coming out, and there will be certain, I just have a feeling that regardless, I don't know how the reviews, if the reviews are going to be good or bad. All I know is that there is going to be a vocal minority that's going to be like, oh, but it represents this too much. It's too. Blah, blah, blah." Shut up. I just hate finding people who like criticize, everything now. I remember with, oh man, in the Heights, they kept doing that. For me, it just felt more like people who just are negative towards. I get that people are negative towards musicals. That's the thing. I think people are just, yeah, like horror is something. Here's the thing. In my opinion, musicals are better than horror. Besides, when you think about it, musicals take a lot of time and effort to make because there's the intricate camera movements, and there's the scope of the project. There has to be the closed off streets, and you have to have the performances, how they work, how they don't. People really don't know. I think people who just hate musicals, in my opinion, I get it, too singy songy. I don't give a shit. I love musicals. I love musicals. It's like they were essentially like the biggest things at the time. I mean, like yeah, Mary Poppins and all that. And of course, I mean, the original West Side Story, there's no replacing the original. But I am excited to see Spielberg do a musical because that is always a genre he's always wanted to do, but he never got to. Although I've been hearing stuff about Alden Ehrenreich. And I mean, to be fair, the movie's already, I think the movie's already completed. I actually do want to see this in a movie theater. I have to look up my schedule. I do know The Kingsman is coming out on Christmas, but I think I'm going to see this one first. I am excited for musicals, and they deserve to be seen on the big screen. And I'm still excited. I'll be excited for anything Spielberg makes. So let's take a look. This is just a 1 minute teaser special look.
There's
It already
a
looks
place
beautiful.
for us.
I'm not Puerto Rican.
Somewhere.
Is that okay?
A place for us.
You tell me.
Kill the lights.
Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, I know people are going to confuse this for like a remake of the original, which. Alright, based on the stage play book by Arthur Lawrence. Oh, Arthur Lawrence. Alright, Leonard Bernstein doing the music, Stephen Sondheim writing the lyrics. That's great, I love Stephen Sondheim. Weird thing though about Stephen Sondheim, I remember as a kid I was scarred by watching. I saw a filmed version of the Sweeney Todd musical. That screwed me up completely. It's shows you a lot. Uh, essentially what I hear is that the movie Spielberg is doing is more based off the play than the movie. I don't know for sure. Just whenever people think it's a remake, it's like, oh god, we have to have this again. Hey, they've remade A Star Is Born like 3 times ever since it. I'll tell you how many times A Star Is Born has been remade. So if someone wants to remake a musical, I just don't really. All right, let's see. Every Star Is Born. All right, this is the 2018 one, which was a really great movie. It is the fourth filmed version of the 1937 film. after the 54 musical and the 76. 54 was Garland, right? Yeah, Judy Garland, and 76 was Streisand and Chris Christopherson, which, in my opinion, is the weakest of the movies. I know a lot. I mean, let's all be fair. We have to get this thing remade every like 20 years or so. Although in the case of A Star Is Born, it took 42 years for it to be remade. Although it was already filmed in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh god, I gotta put my glasses on. Yeah. I really did enjoy this version of A Star Is Born. Yeah. They've remade it so many times that at the point people are like, okay, sure. Todd Phillips produced this. That's interesting. I've actually been wanting to get this movie in 4K, but it's just been. I remember finding it, and it was so yeah. Filming began on April 27th. Coming in, yeah, um, yeah. That's interesting. All right, and West Side Story. I mean, all right. Here it is. All right, upcoming. The film is an adaptation of the Broadway musical, which is loosely based on Romeo and Juliet. Because that's actually something interesting. I don't know what version. I remember seeing it on Renegade Media Group. Them mentioning that there is a version of Macbeth that is like, let's see, movies loosely inspired by Macbeth. Movies inspired. Yeah, here it is. 13 Shakespeare inspired movies. Yeah. From, let's see. Because, yeah, that is true. 10 Things I Hate About You, for example, is based on The Taming of the Shrew. That I know. Although, I've actually seen. It's on Disney Plus. I remember seeing it. I don't know if it was. Yeah. Oh, The King, based on Shakespeare's Henry plays. Lady Macbeth. Oh, Florence Pugh, of course, I remember. She was. Uh, the Lion King, obviously, is a reimagining of Hamlet. And then there's Macbeth with Michael Fassbender. The Merchant of No, Motocrossed. Oh, yeah, no. What Much Ado About Nothing? It's Kenneth Branagh, so yeah. Oh, the modern day Othello, Richard III, Romeo plus Juliet. My opinion, Romeo plus Juliet is probably the best version. I know people have mixed thoughts on that movie, but I like it. It's if Tony Scott did Shakespeare, except it's not Tony Scott. I kind of like the idea of them, even though it's modern, it's in a contemporary society, and they use guns, and it's shot with so much zooms. There's like lots of snap zooms, and it takes me to Tony Scott. It's like, yes, I love that. I love that one. She's the man. Oh. Mm, all right. I've got to find. I know there's one. Let's see. Akira. I think there was an Akira Kurosawa movie. Akira Kurosawa movie based on inspired by Macbeth. No, let me try it again. Yep, Throne of Blood. That was the movie. Yeah, and essentially it's considered the best adaptation of anything Shakespeare. Man, there have been times where I've seen Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet was like the worst offender because it abandons they ruined it. I know it was essentially a cutesy movie for kids, but It is probably the one movie you could probably feel Shakespeare is rolling in his grave at that time. Yeah. Run of Blood or Spiderweb Castle is a 1957 historical drama film co-written and directed by Akira Kurosawa. The film transposes the plot. There's actually been so many adaptations of Macbeth. Um, the Tragedy of Macbeth. Let's see. See sources. See also Macbeth in popular culture. All right. In film. Let's see every film. Uh, it went from West Side Story to William Shakespeare. Although to be fair, the original Shakespeare. All right. So let's see which ones are most noticeable. Uh, hmm. So there's an Orson Welles movie called Macbeth, and um, then there's Throne of Blood, the Akira Kurosawa movie. Um, then there was the Polanski movie. Yeah. Whenever I hear Polanski, I just wish I could grab Polanski and choke him to death. I know. I don't care if the guy made Rosemary's Baby. Roman Polanski is a selfish son of a bitch. I hear there's a rumor, there's a theory. There's been a rumor saying that Polanski hired the Manson family to murder Sharon Tate because I remember so many people got mad at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, of course, they got mad at the representation of Bruce Lee, but people forget Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Tarantino's version of history. Because there's been that thing where Tarantino has done his own movies that have their own shared universe. For example, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. Two of the characters are named Vega. Michael Madsen's character, Vega. John Travolta, Vince Vega. Yeah, and then the 21st century. Let's see. The most notable ones are um. Jeffrey Wright directed it. Not Jeffrey Wright, the American actor we all know and love. Sam Worthington played Macbeth. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, my glasses have been very loose as of lately. These are very old glasses. My other glasses got broken, so that's why I can see well in one eye, but not so well with the other. Uh, yeah, and then there's the Michael Fassbender, and then there was Lady Macbeth. Yeah, I'm just gonna see how long I've been recording this. Yep, 13 minutes. It figures. Is expected to. So apparently, what it says here is the film screenplay is expected to hew more closely to the Broadway script than the Robert Wise film, than the film adaptation directed by Robert Wise and Jerome Robbins. Of course, people are going to view it as a remake. I mean, here's the thing. I choose not to judge a movie until after I've seen it. That being said, there have been many films that have tried to be so different from the original movie that they ended up falling flat instead of succeeding. They got stuck under the shadow, so to say. Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes is an example because Tim Burton tried so hard to make it nothing like the original film. And the film is nothing like it. I'm glad they went in a different direction. The problem is the direction wasn't good enough, and from what I hear, Tim Burton did not have creative control over the project. and it was Tom Rothman who was like, did not give him. I hate Tom Rothman. I want Tom Rothman to die. I actually want to, if William Fichtner's character from The Lone Ranger existed, I'd want him to like, kill Tom Rothman and just devour his heart from the inside. It's graphic details. I don't support that type of. I don't support cannibalistic violence, but Tom Rothman, I'll allow it. Yeah, filming began in July 2019 and wrapped up 2 months later. Shooting occurred in New York and New Jersey. So, yeah. Second time, Mulan is another example where they tried so hard that instead of impressing audiences, it alienated them. There was so much stupid shit in Mulan. Like, I understand why they can't bring Mushu in, but it was stupid. They filmed one scene in a Chinese concentration camp for that movie, and they screwed up. I will say the film visually beautiful. Story wise, it really falls flat, and you can tell the writers were trying their damnedest to make it different. Where Mulan could work with live action, it did not work out as well as they expected. Don't get me wrong. I think okay. Let me show you some films Nikki Caro has directed because I think she's a very good director. Nikki Caro, New Zealand film director. Let's see what film she's done. At least that I can consider good. Um. All right. Whale Rider, North County, Heavenly Vintage, McFarlane USA, and The Zookeeper's Wife. All good movies in my opinion. And Mulan was like the first movie she did. Yeah. She's the second woman. Yeah. I mean, I do hope this movie's good though. I mean, the only time I think Spielberg ever disappointed me was with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That is the only Spielberg film I look back on and I'm like, there were moments I liked in Crystal Skull. There are a few things I liked about it, but it's an okay movie. But when you compare it to the other films in the Indiana Jones series and the rest of Spielberg's filmography, it's like it falls so flat on everything. That being said, let's see here. See, Ansel Elgort. Oh, Ansel Elgort. I thought it was Alden Ehrenreich. Damn it. They look so familiar. They look the exact same. Okay, like Ty Sheridan, Ansel Elgort, and Alden Ehrenreich are actors that look very familiar when you think about it. But of course, I remember hearing something about Ansel Elgort. Um, let's see. A woman. Oh, I'm not gonna read the rest of that apparently, but I bet the comments are not happy. Rachel Zegler, who has been cast in American actress, singer, and YouTuber, who is now cast in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Oh, Corey Stoll. I love Corey Stoll. You got Rita Moreno, who was in the original film and coming. I think she was a Maria in the original film, and now she's come back in a new role. Brian Darcy James, um, Maddie Ziegler. All right. Oh, David Newman. That's interesting right there. David Newman. He's the son of Alfred Newman. Yeah, he's the older brother of. Oh, he's the older brother of Thomas Newman. I love Thomas Newman. Thomas Newman is probably my favorite composer. I love like like Shawshank Redemption, American Beauty, Wally scores, all amazing scores. I love Tom Newman, and Tom Newman never won an Oscar is upsetting to me. Yeah, let's see some of the films that David Newman has done. So he did the original Frankenweenie short film. He did Critters. He did Brave Little Toaster. Throw Mama from the Train. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Um, War of the Roses. Um, DuckTales movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. What else did he do? Mighty Ducks. Uh, the Jimmy Hoffa movie that Danny DeVito directed. The Sandlot, Coneheads. He's mostly done comedy films and films directed by Danny DeVito, so that's interesting to see there. Tommy Boy, Operation Dumbo Drop, The Phantom. Oh God, Nutty Professor, Matilda, Jingle All the Way, Anastasia, Never Been Kissed, Bowfinger, and Galaxy Quest. He did that one too. Bedazzled. He did The Affair of the Necklace, the first Ice Age movie, Life or Something Like It. Um, see, oh yeah, he was the composer for Serenity, the sequel movie to Firefly, and that was such a good movie. Well, probably the only good thing from. Sorry, I had to have that redacted. The Spirit. Visually a good movie. Visually, it's great, but story wise, it's not good. I'm still looking at some of the films that David Newman has done as a composer. Um, yeah. Um, and West Side Story. So he was more like the arranger for it. So that's interesting. I think that's like Spielberg's. All right, if I'm not mistaken, I think if I remember correctly, Duel and um, The Color Purple, Bridge of Spies, and Ready Player One are the four films, and now with West Side Story, it's five Spielberg movies to not have John Williams as the composer, which is interesting because Ready Player One originally John Williams was going to do the score, but he had scheduling conflicts with The Last Jedi, and I think a health issue came up. Yeah, because yeah, I think if I remember, Color Purple was Quincy Jones, Bridge of Spies was Thomas Newman, and Ready Player One was Alan Silvestri. So, yep, I'm looking at here. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Rachel Zegler. Also, the movie looks beautiful in my opinion. Like, because I'm already 20 minutes in this video, I babbled on and on about this movie. Let me just mute here, and yeah, let's. I love that the flaring of it. I think this is Spielberg does not shoot. I remember Spielberg, early Spielberg, he used to go for anamorphic lenses, but it was in the 70s. So when he made what was the name? Sugarland Express, Jaws, Close Encounters, 1941, Raiders of the Lost Ark, anamorphic. Then Temple of Doom, then Last Crusade, anamorphic because Raiders, and Crystal Skull was anamorphic. Bridge of Spies anamorphic. Ready Player One anamorphic. So I think that's like 10 anamorphic movies that Spielberg has done, and I think it's because that's the thing is like Spielberg is technically the. I know J.J. Abrams is the one who gets like the whole popularity, but all right, let me show you. Close Encounters. See, Close Encounters of the Third Kind lens flare, because that was kind of the movie that popularized the lens flare. I think this is because like that film has a lot of visual effects, and it's a mix of anamorphic and spherical for like because they shot 65 millimeter for visual effects. This is like one of the flares, and Spielberg used the most flares. I remember seeing Crystal Skull recently. It's got a lot of lens flares. Ready Player One, lots of lens flares. So and then Die Hard did it a few years later. Die Hard and Die Hard lens flare. Here it is. Here's what's interesting is that Die Hard, like it was because I think of the anamorphics. They shot this with Die Hard with Panavision E series, and so they some of the like sharper lenses. And Jan de Bont, who's the cinematographer on the film, really talented Dutch cinematographer. So it's like that's why there's all the lens flares, and like every McTiernan movie since Die Hard has to include a lot of lens flares. Like, okay, I only saw like the first 30 minutes of the Rollerball remake. Horrible movie. I could not make it to 30 minutes. 30 minutes in, I had a seizure from watching it. It is so filled with lens flares. And then Michael Bay did it, if I'm not mistaken. He did lens flares in it. Lens flare, Armageddon lens flare. Cause let's see, Armageddon, and that was like Bay's first foray into anamorphic. You know, the thing that's funny though is that because it was anamorphic, there are scenes in Armageddon where I can tell it's an actual flare, like an actual sun, and when it switches to VFX, I'm like, that was clearly added digitally, and that's because the Armageddon was like Bay's first anamorphic movie, and then it was Pearl Harbor and the Island, and then J.J. Abrams did it with Star Trek. Yeah, I know people complain about lens flares. At this point, I love lens flares. Like Black Widow, it includes the most lens flares I've seen in an MCU movie, and yeah. All right, look, I love these. Shine those babies up. I love that the lens flares. Look at this. I love how anamorphic lenses work. I love how it just shines there. It kind of, in my opinion, lens flares just kind of add to the dream. It reminds me that I am watching a movie at times, and my mom's doing her hair. So if you hear a hair dryer, I'm very sorry. But yeah, it looks beautiful. I think it enhances the quality of the film. And it pisses me off so much that many lens companies have tried to, you know, do this. They've tried to apply it. Uh, yeah. Look at that. Okay. I got to go back for a little bit. I want to. I'm gonna have to slow down the frame here just for a slight bit to show you how much I love these bad boys. Light those bad boys up, Spielberg. Look at that lens flare. Yep, this is just another lens flare appreciation post. It's funny also. I remember for Star Wars The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams restrained himself from lens flares, and then come The Last Jedi, you know, Ryan Johnson and Steve Yedlin, they just went, let's just use lens flares in every scene. And it's like, the fact that Last Jedi had more lens flares than a J.J. Abrams movie is funny. And then Rise of Skywalker, they kept. Point is, I love lens flares. I have a problem with lens flares. Sometimes I take pictures and I like to put a clear fishing lure on my phone, and I just like to put it in the middle here, in the middle camera here, just so I can get a lens flare. In fact, if I wipe my glasses like this, I can see. Probably, I think if I put it here, I'm gonna put my own lenses here. I'm putting my own glasses here. This is how lazy I become. Let's see if it works. Yeah, I spent the whole trailer talking about something else. It happens. Oh, look at that. Alright, enough lens flares for now. And now my eyes here are dirty. It looks great. I love the production design on this too. It looks great. There's Rita Moreno. Yeah, this is what I love. I love this shot here. Beautiful. Spielberg, keep shooting anamorphic till your last days. I miss you shooting with lens. I miss your lens flares. Yeah, when I make a movie, I'm gonna shoot anamorphic. If people hate the lens flares, I don't care. I like them. I have J.J. Abrams to thank for that. I have a lens flare obsession, so yeah, looks beautiful though. Shot on film, obviously. Yeah, like there's a flare there. There's that distortion, and it just looks so beautiful there. Like, look at this. This is some pretty good production design. Um, oh yeah, another musical that was shot anamorphic in the Heights looked really beautiful. And from what I know, Alice Brooks, the cinematographer, I think she asked for Panavision to kind of have the lenses sort of tweaked. Although when she puts it with the digital sensor, because it was shot digitally, the lens flares were kind of obvious, and she kind of liked it. And In the Heights is a beautiful looking film. Um, I know I'm too much of an anamorphic lover, I guess. Even though I've never shot it, this looks so beautiful, man. Look at this shot. This is just great. Yeah, man. I've gone on for so long. Man, this is too good looking. Why does this movie look better than it has any right to be? So yeah. Actually, yeah, I'll show you what lenses they shot. No, I don't really need to. I'm ending the video here. I've gone on for far too long. In fact, I'm actually going to try this again because I wasn't seeing clearly. Hey, look. It's got that milky Spielbergian effect. I just got to swipe my dirty finger on it. No, it's not working. I don't. I think it's because I can see it on the glasses. It's not really. It's reflecting horizontally there. Nope, I can't. Not even horizontally, I can do it. I think there's like a slight horizontal factor to it. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to end the video here. I'll leave a link to the original video down below. Well, it's linked to my Instagram. I've got a. Oh, Lord. I have got to go to sleep. Godspeed, everyone. Take care.